Hello, happy Friday. I had 0 time to do my hair, but I feel like it kinda still looks good. I don't know. I was just rushing to get Heart Breathing's video up, so that is currently uploading. Hopefully, it's not gonna mess with my internet. Oh my gosh, I have had quite the week. Week 2 weeks. Oh, I just feel so full and very grateful. It's a good time. I feel like this haircut is changing my life. Not really, but like a little bit. But was showered with gifts, showered with praise, showered with friendship over the past couple of weeks. And then I came home and have been trying to get some rest since HardyCon. HardyCon was incredible. And I see already that we have some people in the chat that were here for that. It was like there are no words to explain. It was 7 days, 8 days of nonstop smiling. Like, literally, don't think I stopped smiling for days. I had to force myself to stop smiling because my back of my face, like, those muscles that pull your face back when you smile, I don't know what those are called. They were starting to literally hurt from smiling so much. Like, it was so amazing. I had so much support. I had so much fun. I can't even express. And I know several people were like, please vlog it, please vlog it. And I did take my vlogging camera with me, but I vlogged almost nothing because in the end, I was like, if I vlog, that's just going to be something I do out of obligation for the people that want and expect it. And I don't want to do stuff anymore that feel like it's purely out of obligation. Like, I know people would have enjoyed it, but it also would have meant that I couldn't be as present because I was literally running an 8-hour workshop and I needed to be 100% present for those people. But in the future, if we end up doing this again, I think that I will probably hire someone else to like do some recordings and other things like that. But I think what is happening in this transitional and this shift in myself, which might end up being disappointing for some other people, is that in order for me to truly put my best work out in the world, I have to be thinking not just of who will be mad at me if I don't do this, but rather what seems like it's going to really fill up my soul. Evie's Evie, she's trying to come in here. Yeah. I won't even tell you what she's yelling because it's too funny. But yeah, I think I'm coming into a piece of myself that I'm saying, like, I'm going to give as much of myself as I can. And then I also am going to be as genuine and authentic in the moment as I can. I don't know. I can't explain it fully, but thank you to everybody who was there. LA was there. Jean was there. We had Kat was there. Angela was there. And it was just like, you guys, thank you to everybody who came because it was amazing. And it was so much fun. This is going to overflow into Broken Chapter Society because, well, there's a couple of stories. One, it was so fun to be able to think through over the last few months, what can I do that will be surprising and delightful for the people that are there? And so when we set up, I don't have any pictures to share. You can go to my Instagram to look at them. But I set up the tables with, we put the, my brain is just like still not fully engaged. I ended up sleeping today until 12:30. I got up with the kids and then I was like, I'm going back to bed because I haven't had a single day to sleep in. But we're going to engage the brain the more we talk. But we set up the tables with the lanyards and people's name tags to kind of hide the Kanban board so that when people came in, they would pull out their name tag and then they would go, what is this? And we set up like tiny little Kanban boards. If you're not familiar with this, just go hang out in my Heart Breathings channel because I do Kanban boards all the time. So I set it up with this postcard that says HardyCon founder on one side and then to do, doing, and done on the other side. And I just put them inside these little, table tents or whatever. And then inside their pencil pouch, they had little tiny page flags and pens and things so they could write down our to-do list for the day. But as they were writing down the to-do list, they didn't know what that it was going to mean. Like if it said hook stack, it's like, what is that? I don't know what that is. But then as the day would go on, I would say, like, move this to your doing section. And then we would work through the workbook. I got to make like 100-page workbook for this, which was so much fun. And it was just, it's like every little piece was so fun. And every time I would say, and now you finished this task, move it to the done section, everybody would go, woo. And it's like the whole room was just in so much like good spirits. And so many people had a lot of aha moments. And I felt like really like I did good work in the world. And like it was just so satisfying to see this community come together. And it really pumped me up and has fired me up for all the stuff that's coming for Broken Chapter Society. And in a way, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, because I feel like this month was the least month. And I haven't even been to see like how many people are still subscribed, because I feel like I've given you almost nothing this month. But next month and the month after, so much stuff is coming. So if you unsubscribed, waiting for the stuff to start coming, April and May, we're getting in there. So in the month of April, we're doing the Rough Draft Challenge. So the video that will go up on Heartbreaking Things today is all about how to join the Rough Draft Challenge. Oh, this is so sweet. Lisa says, my smiling muscles start to hurt from hearing you talk like this. I love it. It's like it's just, I feel like I have turned a corner, just so excited. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm like, blah, 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 so many things. Before I move on to this, yay, Casey, welcome, welcome. I convinced you, come join us. So in the evening, we had a PJ party. I should have worn it today if I was thinking of it. We had a PJ party, which basically was just like everybody that wants to come back to the room where we had HardyCon, and we were sharing planner stuff. LA brought me some Kiki K planners, which is so cool. I love those. I don't have them to share, but I'm so excited still for that. And then we had stickers and people were sharing. No, it's fine, George. It's fine. My desk is so full of stuff. We had planners that we were sharing, stickers we were sharing, just so many things. And I'm just sitting there talking to people, and all of a sudden there's a little bit of a disturbance on the other side of the room. And I was not wearing my glasses, so I couldn't see what was happening. But all of a sudden I see 4 people wearing identical robes. And for a moment, where, even though they were pink and not purple, my brain went to, is this the Broken Chapter Society? Because we've talked about the robes so much. And I was like, is this what's happening? Who is that? And then as they got closer, I realized it was Mel and Tadra, who were the people that were running the event. And then Russell and Monica, who were the, like, so you have the people that it was their event. They invited me to be a part of it. Mel and Tadra were the ones who were administratively like running the event, if that makes sense. So anyway, they came in carrying a Hello Kitty lamp, like a light stand, like a night light. And they were wearing long Hello Kitty robes with the hood up. It's like a black hood that had Hello Kitty's face on it. And it was so hilarious and fun. We had the best time. So they gave me the robe. They gave me the Hello Kitty thing. But it made me think about how fun would it be to have like a Broken Chapter Society con every year, where we got to hang out like that and share stuff and put on our silly robes. Oh my gosh. I have had the best time. And then we had people from Broken Chapter. I think we had about 10 members of the Broken Chapter Society were there out of the 60 people. And it was 66 authors total in the room. And then we had 2 people join while we were there from the other conference. So I think we had 68 people total, plus me. Timoana, I don't know. I think she's not here because she's working, but she came and helped us set up, which was amazing. It was just fun. It was just pure fun. And I thought, this is what I need to remember when things get hard, is that all of this hard work, all of the stuff that we put into this community, once we're really together, whether it's our community here on the Sarra Cannon side, or if you're over on the Heartbreathing side, we kind of meld together, a lot of us. It just means like there's really good people in the world, and there's really good things happening. Even if everything that's happening in the world isn't good, there are pockets of such goodness. Okay, I wanna show you this so fun. So many of you know that over the past year or really a few years, I've been trying a system of having like little gemstones that I use to keep track of my progress. So, like when I was writing Vanessa Shaw, I had little mason jars that I took with me on that retreat into the woods and was keeping track of my word count as I was going. So, every sprint or every 1,000 words was a new gemstone. And I've been keeping them in mason jars or little ramekins or whatever. And look at what Angela Hester brought me. Oh my gosh. These are little cauldrons. They're little glass cauldrons to put my to-do list into. I'm dead. Like, the cool gifts that I got this past week were just the neatest. So it says to do, like she bought these from, where did you get them, Angela? Like Two Weird Sisters or something online. And then Angela put the words to do on here. It's so satisfying. It's like ASMR moment. And then done on this side. So I can have two little mini cauldron where I could say, okay, here's how much work I have to do today. Oh my gosh, so cute, so cute. People brought me flowers. They're starting to die now, but I'm gonna leave them as long as I can. Cassie bought me this at the Coach store. How cute is this? It felt like Christmas. It was amazing. And I was not expecting any gifts. So that was unexpected, but beautiful. Angela surprised us. Mine are kind of crunching up, but Angela surprised us all with cookies that she had made that were delivered. Which, Angela, I don't honestly know if I announced to everybody that they were from you. So I apologize on that. We just set them on everyone's plate with when gosh, it's just like my brain is not engaging. I'm so sorry. Okay. Deep breaths. I did. Okay, good. When everybody left for lunch, I wanted to surprise everybody one more time. So I had stickers from Procrastiplanner that were specially made for our event. So I put them at everybody's place setting. And then we also gave everybody cookies. These were from Angela. So I'm going to keep them up there with my Disappearance of Vanessa Shaw cookies. It's like, will they eventually start to mold? I don't know. How can I keep them from molding? Because I want to keep them forever. Russell gave me this notebook that says The Star with David Bowie on the front. Like, the number of fun things that happened this past week. I also wanted to show you the crystals that I got. So this was a gift from Casey Ezel. I don't know if she's here right now, but she's on a Sevilla Lost. You see her on Discord and all the things. This is a golden healer quartz that she brought me. Casey, Angela, and I may have stayed up till 2+ in the morning, multiple evenings, having fun in our hotel rooms and getting into shenanigans. This is something I bought myself. It's a sapphire. The only crystal shop I ended up having time to go to because I was busy every minute of every day was Earth Odyssey. So I wanted to go shopping more, but I just didn't get a chance to. But this is a sapphire. It's okay. It survived. I did drop it though. This is a sapphire. And then I also got this double terminated point. This is just an amethyst, but it just is so pretty. Love, love, love. I'm like, I love it. Throws it across the room. And then I got this, which I have never seen this crystal before, but it was called like a grape agate. And it looks like little grapes. How cute is this? They had one that was like a sphere that had all the little grapes across the top. And I was like, how much is this one? It was over $500. I was like, how much is the little one? So yeah, it was kind of expensive. And then when I got home, I had my Lunum Love subscription box that had this merlinite in it, which is really cool. I thought it was snowflake obsidian when I first saw it, but it said merlinite, which I also don't have. So I feel like lots of fun things. But anyway, I'm like rolling into multiple conversations at once, which just means I'm excited. But For April Broken Chapter Society, you will get book 2 audio of the Shadow Demon Saga, so Inner Demons. It is being published everywhere as well, so there will be a release for book 2 of Inner Demons will be coming out for everybody who wants to purchase it on Audible or listen to it on Spotify, iTunes, et cetera, et cetera. So finally, book 2 is coming and that will go out free. I'm also, at the beginning of March, I decided we're going to do desktop wallpapers every single month. There's going to be, um, thank you, George. Maybe I am reverse aging out of sheer joy, or maybe it's because I got extra sleep. George said I looked extra young today. Um, oh, the grape agate matches your t-shirt. Like the amethyst matches my chair. That's so true. Oh my gosh. Look at that. That's true. It's like we're just matching all my things. That's a good observation. But April, we're going to start doing something every week. So there will be more and more and more stuff that is coming for that as we get going. And honestly, it's like HardyCon was sort of the line in the sand in a way. Because I have told you guys this before, but it's really become more and more obvious. It's like when I started Heart Breathings in 2018, I never intended for it to take over my writing and for me to write less. Like in 2018, I started it in February. I still wrote 5 books that year and still published a couple of books in 2019. But then it became like only 1 book in 2020, only 1 book in 2021, and then no books between 2021 and 2024. And it was just like Heart Breathings ate my life. And I have 0 regrets for it because I know I have made an impact and I know I have built a strong community and I love everything about it. But I need to be writing. I need to be creating. And so I have, if you didn't hear the news, I have put some of my courses on hold for a while and I'm not going to be opening them up for a bit so that I can make writing a priority. I'm also going to be George and I keep calling it the age of adventure in a way. Like we just keep saying adventure, right? And yes, to be fair, the world was kind of crazy. And it still is. But yeah, during that pandemic period and losing our house and like trying to get settled in a new house, there were lots of there were lots of things going on, but it also meant that the time that I had ended up getting put into videos and heart breathings and other things like that. And my soul needs to create. And I have been trying for the last couple of months post Disappearance of Vanessa Shaw, not only to sort of heal myself from a little bit of burnout, but also to get my mind back into a creative space. So when we talk about kind of preparing for spring, for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, I know some of you are preparing for fall, which is a very different vibe. But for those of us preparing for spring, there's this feeling of newness, refresh, just like, okay, I actually get to decide certain things in my life. Like there's a lot of things that are out of our control, but there also are a lot of things that are within our control. And I feel like everything is just lining up so perfectly, just like this kind of matching my shirt unintentionally. It's like sometimes the work we've done in the past or the things that we have wanted for a long time start to slowly come together. And all we have to do is make the slightest shift to get back into alignment with it. And I can tell sometimes when I am out of alignment with where I really need to be going, with where my heart wants to be going, with where I want to go, when number one, I'm frustrated a lot. I'm tired a lot. When I'm having a hard time finding any time for myself, I know that I'm out of alignment with my true purpose because I don't feel good. And our emotions are such a compass to tell us like when things are not going well. And of course, there may be external factors that are going to make us not feel good, that we can't always find joy in when we're in moments of grief or when we're in moments of hardship. But at the same time, there's really nothing in my life that should make my life really hard right now. Yes, we had damage to our roof. It is going to cost a lot of money. They're probably going to replace our entire roof, but there's maybe a silver lining in there too. We get the whole roof replaced and then we don't have to worry about it for 30 years. I don't know. We've had some issues with chickens, not going to go into it. We've had some issues with the kids. Evie needs glasses. Just one thing after kind of another on the personal side of it. And then some other like things that have been kind of pushing on my joy, I guess. Chickens are fine, but just some, drama stuff. But there's Dania. She was here also. We had the best time. I got some pictures, I think, with everybody. So I feel like we need to do a photo dump somewhere where we can see everybody's. But yeah, life has been lifing the heck out of so many people, and it's so true. But also, I know that there comes a point where it hits max capacity of how much I can take. And we all hit that point, right? Where it's like, okay, the roof gets damaged, but everything else is doing fine. But it's like, if the roof is damaged, I have pneumonia, this happens, like when it's just hitting you over and over and over again, if you don't have a solid foundation of understanding really what is most important and being able to get to a place of like, okay, this is just like George and I have kind of been getting into this. I mentioned this, I think, a couple of weeks ago, this feeling of like reminding ourselves, okay, it'll be a grand adventure. Like the same way that when we found out we were not going to be able to get the house that we had spent 10 months designing and building, it was like, okay, well then let's go on a great adventure. And it ended up being an amazing experience for us. And we found the place that is home. So it's like, once you focus in on here's what's most important, it becomes a lot more tolerable, even if there are hard times, I guess is what I'm trying to say, which is not to downplay anything anyone else is going through, but it's just like our ability to be resilient in the face of challenge often comes from or is determined by our attitude and the other places that we have a strong foundation. If you have no foundation and you have no like idea who you really are or what your strengths are, you don't have something that you lean on or people that you lean on, those challenges can become so much harder. But if you have a foundation of the people that you love, the things that you know are most important to you, your values are really strong, and you have that foundation, then it becomes a lot easier to handle when the storms come. And so I'm getting back to a place for myself that is foundational, which is more time with my kids. Oh, Jody Jean. It's like a little reunion for all of us that were there. So Jody Jean was there, and we were talking about how she's like my big sister. We'd had such a good dinner together, didn't we? But yeah, focusing on the spark, focusing on following the muse, focusing on finding the joy wherever possible, focusing on the community that we've built and leaning on my friends, like leaning out for support, and then cutting out the things that I'm doing purely out of obligation rather than out of joy. It's like sometimes we have to do things out of obligation. Like we have an obligation to the government to pay our taxes, got to get that done. Like those things are cut in sand. They're more like responsibilities. There are also things that we sometimes do. Like when someone, just to give you an example, like if someone were to say, hey, we've got this big thing coming up for a fundraiser for XYZ, and you helped us last year, we need you to come in and help. When you say yes, even though you know it was so stressful last year and it nearly broke you into pieces, that is an obligation rather than something you have to do. You're doing it not because you want to do it, but because you feel like if you don't do it, you're letting people down. And that's not always a bad thing. But I was going through that with the YA RWA. Nobody else stepped up to be president of that back when I was president years ago, like 2016, 17, something. Probably actually 18 might have been my first year because I can't remember. I ended up not being able to go to the conference because I was pregnant with Evie. So it was, I guess, 2019. But I stepped in out of obligation because everybody was like, you qualify, the whole thing's going to fall apart if you don't step in. I didn't really want to do it, but I jumped in because there was nobody else to do it and I got to do it. And then it was such a hard year. It was a difficult thing to do. There was a lot of drama, so many things. And then they were like, "We need you to do it again." And I said, "Yes, again," because it was like, I got to do it because who else is going to step up and everybody will be mad at me and I'll let everybody down. And it's like, there are just certain things that we keep doing out of obligation that drain our energy so much. And so I encourage you, if you are feeling drained, to take this fresh start. I think today is the new moon. Please tell me if I'm right about that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Um, flowers, Taryn, the flowers are from HeartyCon, from some of my heart breathing fans. Well, it said from your hearties, but I think it was really just from one person, but I don't know for sure. But oh, solar eclipse tomorrow. I didn't know this, Jenna. Okay, tonight is the new moon, solar eclipse tomorrow. Is it visible from the United States? Like, I know last year we were like total eclipse. That was so magical. Where is it today? Um, so we're in new moon energy. We're just past solstice energy. We've got new season upon us and eclipse as well. I did not know about eclipse. So this is probably why there's a lot of emotions going on. Whew. How did you walk away from RWA eventually? What gave you the strength? It was so hard, honestly, because I knew there were going to be people mad at me, and there were. And having people mad at me is just about one of the most difficult things for me personally. I just hit a point where they were asking for a bunch of stuff and they wanted me to do a lot of work. And I had almost a new baby. And I just had a moment where I was like, you know what? It makes me feel sick to my stomach to do this, but I quit. I quit. Someone else can do it. And I almost never quit stuff, but I did. I just said, no, not doing it anymore. And I'm sure that put the obligation on someone else's plate. And I still feel a little bit guilty about that. But at the same time, I just couldn't do it anymore and still keep my sanity. So eventually, like, I don't feel like it was a strength move. I think it was a do or die kind of moment for me, because once I saw that list of all the things they wanted me to do, it was like, I literally can't. I can't. And I still have guilt over that. How many of these mad people didn't step up? That is actually true. Um, good point. And everyone survived, which is true too. And there are. Oh, sorry, Mila. RWA is Romance Writers of America, which used to be one of the biggest, most supportive, like local and international chapters of romance writers, but there were problems in the foundation of that organization. And once a lot of that stuff came to a head, it basically imploded. It still exists, but it's nowhere. It's a shadow of what it once was, unfortunately, because it was such a great thing for so long, but it just did not survive. So for me, getting back to my foundations, it's really three things. One, focusing in on the things that bring me the most joy, which feels radical and revolutionary when there's suffering in the world, but there's always suffering in the world. And the more joy we have, the more we can alleviate suffering for not only ourselves, but those around us. And that is, Gail, I think Gail's here, radiant. That is what I mean by radiant. I am going to fight for my own joy and the things that light me up, not as a way to escape the world, but rather as a way to change the world around me. And so I'm leaning into this as much as I can. And I think I've already gotten comments that people have seen that in me just over the past few weeks, but I'm like, we haven't even gotten there yet. Yay, Gail. It's one of my favorite gifts ever. Thank you for taking the time to make that for me. It feels good to say, okay, I'm going to step away from some of the obligations that are draining me, and I'm going to focus in on the things that fill me up. And by filling myself up, I can then pour out to others. And that's kind of my philosophy right now. And that includes my children. We're going to be doing some really fun stuff for Andrew's birthday this year. And just like, we're going on adventures, and it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait. And that means maybe a little bit less money because I'm giving up some courses and stuff like that. But in the end, like, money is great. We need money to live, but money can come in lots of different ways, and we will figure it out. Yes, he will be 13, LA. 13. My son is going to be a teenager, and it just feels like these 13 years have just flown by. And so we're going to celebrate him so hard this summer. Um, Also, the second piece of the mindset, besides like fill my well, focus on joy so I can pour out to others. Number two is see it as an adventure because, there have been things that have been hard. Like I'll just use the thing about losing the house. That was hard and it could have been devastating. But instead we said, well, what if this was just an adventure? And how else can we see this to see it as an adventure? Lose your job? Okay, that sucks. It's scary, but it's going to be it's going to be what it's going to be. And how you move forward can be either fun. Yeah, you can yell plot twist and keep moving and say, okay, well, let's see what the universe has for me and kind of have that foundation of faith that things are always working out for me. So let me find it. Let me figure out what's the next step. What's the next adventure? Maybe we're meant to be like, I had Charleston, South Carolina, living on the marsh with like near the beach with a marsh view on my vision board for legitimately 10 years. And I thought of it every day. I wanted it every day. I dreamed of it. That was my place. But that actually wasn't where I belonged long term. It was just a season in my life. And so I could have held on to what I wanted my life to be and said, this is the worst. Like everything's unfair. Nothing works out for me. Everybody's always out to get me. This really sucks. Nothing's going right. And I could have just allowed myself to be disappointed in that and try to fight for something that wasn't working out. Or I could have said, okay, well then I open myself up to what's even better on the horizon for me. And let's see what kind of adventure this can be. And, we write, most of us, many of us are writers or readers. Probably every single one of us in the chat is either a writer or a reader or both. And it would not be any fun to pick up a book about a girl who goes to Shadowford Home for Girls and everything just works out. Like, oh, they embrace her with loving arms and it's just the best place and she just lives forever, happily ever after. Like that would not be an interesting story. And as much as think we want joy, we need those challenges to grow and to change and to shift and to learn who we were meant to be. Without adversity, there's no learning, there's no growth. And so we need a mix of both joy and adversity and challenges. And when we can look and face those challenges with strength and say, well, this sucks. I didn't intend for this to happen, for the roof to fall off my house or for this, whatever thing to happen. But I am going to make the most of it and I'm going to see how we can make this an adventure. And adventures are not always fun. They're not always easy, but they do always lead us to growth. And that is kind of where I'm focused. Who's read Sunrise on the Reaping? My friend Megan Vernon was like, have you read it yet? I'm like, I didn't even know it was out. I knew it was on pre-order, but it is out. So I bought it. The roof didn't actually fly off of our house. We just lost a lot of our shingles. And it's a lot of them. So now there are tarps on our house. So that was maybe 2 weeks ago. There was it's being debated whether it was a tornado, but people did lose their lives, like with less than 2 miles from us. So it was very serious. It sounded terrifying. I think it was like 2.5 weeks ago. It was 2 separate occasions. But okay, what's the next adventure? Who will we meet out of this? Maybe we'll meet new friends because they come to work on the house. Maybe we'll get new connections. Maybe we need the roof because there's a worse storm coming and it would have caused even more damage. Like I'm just going to try to see it for the best it can. And I think I told you guys this story before, but when Andrew was little, George and I were going on an anniversary trip to Las Vegas and we literally had no time to ourselves most of the time. So this was back when I was still talking to my parents and we dropped Andrew off at my parents and we got to stay at a hotel near the airport. And we were arriving in Atlanta, like we were walking over from our hotel to the Atlanta airport with plenty of time, hour and a half before the flight was supposed to leave, domestic flight, no big deal. We check in fine. And then we hit the wait line for security. And we were in security for over 2 hours and we missed our flight. And I was in such a terrible mood. Like literally just George is the one who kept trying to pull us up. But I was like, we only have like 2 nights in Vegas and now we're missing it. We're going to be at the airport literally for 10 hours, and we're going to miss the whole day in Vegas. And I was so disappointed. And George was the one, like the little voice in my ear saying, well, look at this. We get to explore the Atlanta airport. It's a huge airport. Like there's a Swarovski store. And then we ended up going to eat at PF Chang's. And then we ended up renting one of those nap rooms, and we watched a movie together and ate like popcorn and stuff. It just, we ended up having a great day. And by the time we made it to our hotel, we were staying at the Bellagio, it was like 11 o'clock at night. So we had in fact missed the entire day, but the driver couldn't get into the Bellagio because the whole strip was closed due to ambulances, fire trucks, everything, that a drunk driver had just run over an entire, like 13 people were run over on the strip that night, and several of them died. And it was just like, oh my gosh, that what happened literally right in front of our hotel. If we had gotten there when we were supposed to, that could have been us. And it was just this, like, I get chills thinking about it even now, because it's like life was handing me a gift, and I saw it as an inconvenience. And what year was this? Andrew was probably only like 2 or 3, so maybe 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. But it was suddenly that like slap in the face of like, I have seen this whole day as an inconvenience, as something that was hurting me, oh, unfair, blah, blah, blah. And instead, we eventually just embraced it, got my nails done, had a whole fun day at the airport, just the two of us, watched a movie, just had so much fun. And then we finally get there, and there's still plenty of Vegas to enjoy. And like, we still had a great time, but we were able to avoid what could have been a very dangerous situation, a very scary situation, because we got there after it happened. And so trying to view this new season of life, where I feel like I'm coming out of a time when I have been doing a lot of stuff out of obligation rather than joy, and trying to, I'm not saying like seeing myself as a victim, but in some ways just seeing everything is so serious, like every little mistake in an email, every little thing that I have to answer, it just starts to pile up, and it starts to feel heavy, and taking it all serious. Like, oh, I got to have the right content calendar, and oh my gosh, I got to get this stuff out to the broken chapter, and let me get these books out, and people are probably disappointed, and spending so much of my time being stressed about, I still have, sometimes I actually just wore it at HardyCon, but I have if you ever see me wear a Swarovski wrap bracelet it's black and it has black Swarovski crystals on it, that's from that trip. And I still wear it to this day. But my goal moving forward into spring is, let me try to stop taking everything so seriously. Let me try to stop consuming so much negativity on the internet and letting it worry me. And instead, I'm going to start moving toward what's going to be super fun. How can I do this in a way that's going to be an adventure? And any curveball that gets thrown my way, saying, okay, well, plot twist, let's see where this takes us, and try to see it as an adventure. And I'm not saying it flippantly, because I know there are some things that are difficult. But at the same time, I'm going to try to adopt that mindset as much as possible. So, oh, Katya says, remembering you telling this story helps me a lot when I'm feeling frustrated with delays in life. Reminds me that the universe is protecting me. Weird delay after weird delay once saved me from a terrible scene. Now, when I get a frustrating delay in traffic, I tend to think God clearly doesn't want me there yet, instead of stressing. It's so true. And like, I try to remind myself every time I see an accident on the interstate, like even if we're in traffic for 3 hours, it's like, for me, this is an inconvenience. And for someone else, this is a life change forever. And so I try to keep that perspective as much as possible. But HardyCon was the perfect sort of line in the sand of saying, okay, I went from being a full-time author, where that was my main focus, to being really a full-time course creator and YouTuber, where writing was kind of a sub job. And where I felt like all of my writing was like pulling teeth, or I had to like force it, to now I am back to full-time writer, sweetie. Um, and it feels so good. And just case in point, I had already written part of A Mirror of Shadows. I had a few episodes completed, and I just met with my sort of writing mentor, Becca Mysore, yesterday. And I was telling her, I was like, something still doesn't feel right about this. The setup of this, something about the characters, it's like I've been trying to manufacture a story that will do well. And I've been so focused on what will people think? What will people think? That I haven't given myself any room for what do I want to write. That's not exactly true. I'm oversimplifying it, but the focus has been off. And I think this permission to go back to full-time writing has unlocked something in my brain, because she was like, okay, then we just throw everything away. And I've said this before. So this is writing advice straight from someone who has struggled their way through writing a book the last several years, but also has written 30 books. If you want a little bit of advice, sometimes when we get stuck, we think we know where the problem is. And so we're focused in on, okay, this is the problem I need to solve. And we could literally beat our head against it, trying to solve it over and over again. And sometimes the answer is zooming out and saying, what do I think I know about this story that isn't right? So for example, I had a setup for this particular book where, and I can go ahead and kind of tell you a little bit about it, because this is no longer the setup for the book, where the amethyst priestess has a sort of a ward, not exactly a daughter, but a ward that she basically gets angry at and doesn't want her to join the order at 18. And so she pushes her into this mirror, where she finds out that there is a separate world owned by the priestesses of the Order of Shadows, where they keep their prisoners and force them into competing in games. And so we will be expanding on this premise for a while. And I love the world itself, everything I've built, the characters in there, but just that premise of her being close to the priestess, amethyst priestess, was not working, and it wasn't working, and it wasn't flowing, and it wasn't flowing. And it was just like, oh, I'm just so frustrated, because I want to be writing and the words aren't flowing. And so yesterday we zoomed out and said, what if she doesn't even know that amethyst priestess? What if she's someone who's already been in the world and doesn't get thrown in at the first scene? And it was like, that was the one thing I thought I knew for sure. And now I have deleted it from the story and I'm starting over. So tonight I will be starting the whole story over. And as I was sitting in bed with my planner stack, I've turned on lately, something I've been doing just to relax is turning on an ambiance video. So if you like Fourth Wing, you can just search for like Basquiat dorm or something, and there's like dragons flying around outside. It's just really cool. Or you can search for like little witchy hobbit holes and all kinds of stuff. So I have been turning on those ambiance videos that are free here on YouTube, and just like surrounding myself with all my plotting stuff and going through and figuring it out. And after she said that about just throw that piece out that you think you know, the whole story unlocked for me. And I have not been itching to sit down and write the way that I am right now in a long time. So I am very excited for this. In the month of April, I will be working on Rough Draft Challenge. And Ross says, will there be an update on April's Rough Draft Challenge? How to join? Yes, the website is ready to go. So there is a video going up at 4:30 my time, so 5:30 Eastern. So 30 minutes after Coffee Chat, video will go up explaining how to join it, how to grab your images, all that stuff. So today, I'm going to spend the entire month of April doing the Rough Draft Challenge, and I'll be vlogging some of my experience writing the book, and I'm going to be playing a lot of video games, and I'm going to be reading a lot of books. I'll probably read Sunrise on the Reaping. I still haven't read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, so the two Hunger Games sequels, I'm going to read those. I'm still finishing Red Queen, almost done with that. I just want to let's pull the things that make us happy and start refilling the well as much as possible. Oh, you inspired me to start posting videos on my YouTube channel. Is it on this Jennifer plan? I'm going to come check it out. All right. That's so exciting. Yes, exactly what I needed to hear. I'm struggling with book 17 in my middle grade series. Maybe I need to take a step back and look and see what needs to happen. Yeah, I encourage you to make a list or to just go through in your mind of what are the things I think are set in stone? Like, oh, I'm not sure about the name of this. I'm not sure about this character, but I know for sure X. Question that, because sometimes that foundation is what is still not right. And we don't look at it because we think it's right. Yes, you can keep your password from last time and start over. I'd like to participate to vlog next month as well. Can I tag you? For sure, for sure. And I'll share anybody who wants to vlog the challenge, I will share with my subscribers too. So just send me an email, let me know. You're filming after this, it's under my name. Okay, well send me, yeah. If it's under this name, like I can go into chat and click on your name, I'll find it. If it's not, send me an email. So yeah, I'm excited. I actually just bought, I had used up my entire grid paper, that is like 11 by 17 graph paper that people use in like engineering things. I got that idea from Holly Black, and I've used the mess out of those pages. And I just went on to Amazon to look at ordering more. And they have some that are even bigger, like 22 by 17. I ordered it. I'm getting it. It's going to be amazing. I'm just going to like marinate in joy, if that makes sense. I'm so excited. All the stuff about how to, well, I don't really actually talk about this in the video. How do you track your progress? So I would personally, when it comes to edits, the way that I do it is I track it based on the number of words I've finished editing. So like if you have a 70,000 word book and you're starting back at the beginning to edit, you can set your goal at 70,000. Or if you want to get through 30,000 in edits, I just still track it by words. If that doesn't work for you because of your editing process, I would track it by minutes. So I would say over the course of April, I want to spend an hour a day, 20 days. So you would say 60 minutes times 20 days is 1,200 minutes. And so then you would put 1,200 as your goal. And then if you spend 60 minutes today, you put in 60 minutes plus what you had before today. That's how I would do it, I think. Do I plan to do HardyCon again next year? So I don't have an answer to that yet, but I definitely want to do it again. I don't think that Monica and Russell have announced yet if they're doing another Writer NBA Con. And this made it so easy for me to do it because I didn't have to sign contracts with the hotel. I didn't have to have food and beverage costs. It made it so much easier for me to do it without having to spend hours and hours and hours. But I want to do it again. So I'm going to be looking for opportunities to make it happen. And I would love to include Broken Chapter Society stuff next time. So we'll see. We'll see. I loved it. I loved it 100%. But what we will be seeing here on this channel is in the month of April, we're going to continue to have, like, if there's other chats that you want to talk through, we're going to maybe talk a little bit about Project 48. I thought I was going to talk about that a little bit today, but it's like we start talking. It's like, wait a minute, how are we 50 minutes into this conversation already? Because time just flies by when you're with your friends. But Project 48 really hasn't gotten underway. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it before I turn 48. Got sick, couldn't do it. Turned 48 in January. And I'm like, okay, now we begin. Got sick again, had all these issues, lost my assistant. It was just like, okay, this isn't happening. But now I feel like Monday is the perfect day to really start back with Project 48 because I've got this new purpose of my writing. Yeah, I'll show you my shirt in just a second. New purpose of kind of getting back to my writing and sharing more of that process over on Heart Breathings, but a little bit less focus on courses for now. And I've got health stuff. I'm starting kind of new. I don't know that I'm going to say diet per se, because I know that's like a word that comes with a lot of baggage, but I'm going to try something new. And I'll share this with you, but we can talk about it more next week if you're interested in it, where I'm going to create a menu for myself of here's possible breakfasts. Here's my possible lunches. Here's my possible dinners. Here's like, if I want to exercise or move my body once a day, here's options for what I can do. And so each little piece of like I want to almost what George calls forced fun time, because I have been such a workaholic over the last years. I don't even really take a day off. Like I love it. I'm working on things I love, but then I'm starting to realize, oh, over time, I'm not like taking the time to refill my well. So I'm going to be trying to do at least some kind of reading or gaming every single day, even if it's just 30 minutes. So that fun thing. And then having like maybe sleep or number of water, like different kinds of drinks, and a writing list. So I'm going to have a menu of all the things that are possible. And the night before, it's going to be laminated. And it sounds so extra, but it's like I love doing new fun stuff. It's going to be a laminated list. And so the night before, when I look at my laminated menu for the day, I'm going to say, what do I feel like having for breakfast tomorrow? And there's going to be some really fun options. And then there will be some really healthy options. And then, and I'm going to try to choose the healthy options as much as possible. To, so it's like for me, having eggs from our chickens is really great. But then there are just some days where I'm like, I don't want to have to eat eggs this morning. But having like a chocolate chia seed pudding with peanut butter on top might be like an extravagant thing, but it still fits within the type of eating that I want to do. So I can choose like, okay, this is what I want for breakfast. This is what I'm going to eat for lunch. This is what I'm going to eat for dinner. But it's not an infinite, like, oh, I don't know what I want. It's just going to be a small list of like 3 options for each thing. I know this won't work for some people because you like more variety, but for me, I work really well when I have just limited number of options that I eat over and over again. I really enjoy that. Like takes a lot less decision making for me. Dinners will be a little bit different because we're already on a rotation. We have the same thing every Monday night, the same thing every Tuesday night. But then there are some times where I've been working really hard and I'm like, I just want to go out for dinner and I want to be able to select that on my menu. And then for my writing, I can choose the night before where I want to do that writing. I'm going to meet up with friends online. I'm going to go to a cafe. I'm going to book a writing retreat, just any different thing that I want to put on there. Or for my fun time, I can say I'm going to read a book. I'm going to play a game. I'm going to do some of these things, like just having a small list of what I'm going to do. And then for exercise, it can be, okay, I'm going to do some strength training. Or it can be, I'm going to do a little bit of like gentle breathing and stretches. So I can change it depending on how I'm feeling the night before and just try to make the most healthy choices I can. But if I'm having low energy day, not holding myself accountable to having to do, some kind of major workout, but also being like, okay, it's a difficult day. I'm not feeling well. I haven't gotten enough sleep. From my menu, I'm just going to select some stretching. And then I feel like I'm rebuilding integrity with myself by following through on the things I said I was going to do, but also doing it gently. If you would be willing to share pictures of your menus when they're done, absolutely. We can talk about this next week if you guys want to. What is this breakfast you speak of? Listen, when I had gestational diabetes with Andrew and I had to check my blood sugar like 5 times a day, I realized that if I personally, and I know this isn't true for everybody because fasting works really well for some people. If I did not eat breakfast, I could not get my blood sugar under control all day. I need a high protein breakfast, period. And everybody's bodies are different. So you might not want breakfast, but for me, I got to eat it in the morning and it has to be high protein. That's kind of the best thing. Oh, I recently heard that we crave most the first thing we taste in the day. So trying to make it food and not coffee. That is interesting. Okay. I like it. I've been trying to drink more water. So I could even put that on the menu and say, you know what, I'm trying to drink more water, but I feel kind of like I'm hitting a wall of feeling burned out. I'm just going to put 1 glass of water. I'm just going to circle 1 glass of water and that's a win for me. And then other days I might be like, okay, let's go for the gallon or 3 liters or, whatever. I think it'll be fun because it kind of gamifies it a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is on my big calendar on the wall back here, I'm going to put a mark on each day that I followed through with at least one thing from every area on my menu. And Hale's Diet Mountain Dew instead. Yeah, I understand. There's no judgment here. But it's like, I know for me, I'm ready to move into almost like a radical self-care moment for myself of just like, okay, let's refill the well. Let's get lots of sleep. Let's read lots of books. Let's have fun. Let's lean on my community. Let's, build something cool with the Broken Chapter Society and just all kinds of neat stuff. So Oh, if apps help you plant nanny lets you grow cute little cartoon plants by drinking water. That sounds so cute. I tried to use that forest app for a long time, but all my trees just died because I forgot to use it. I mean, I also drink Dr. Pepper. Why is Dr. Pepper the best sweet treat? It's so true. Does tea count? I mean, I kind of feel like tea counts. I mean, I'm from the South, so sweet tea counts, but especially if it's unsweetened tea, it's great. Especially if it's herbal tea and stuff. Oh, Evie's coming in. Evie's coming in. But I'm excited to share this with you. And actually, I was supposed to light this at the very beginning, but we'll light it at the end. Here is this candle that says Realm of Possibilities. And I feel like that is essentially what the age of adventure and trying to think of things as an adventure is all about. Is anything's possible. And if we're in a rut and if we're doing the same old things over and over again, and if we're giving all of our energy and time to other people or to worries or to things we can't control, then we cut off our own possibilities. But when you can come on in, babe. Come on in.
I have something they got me from school.
Okay.
It's a stuffy.
We'll come over and say hi.
This is the stuffy they got me from school.
This is the stuffy they got you from school? She has is this a Pokemon of some kind?
Yeah, it's Eevee.
It's an evolved Eevee, right?
Uh-huh. It's a water type Eevee.
It's a water type Eevee. Are you so cute? Yeah.
Mommy, can I do screens?
Can you do screens? No, not right now. Evie's gonna have glasses. What kind of glasses did you pick out?
You're embarrassing me.
No, I don't want to embarrass you.
Yes.
Okay, she said it's embarrassing her, so we won't talk about it. But we'll call her in here because the world is not prepared
Crystal,
for the cuteness of Evie with glasses. She's gonna be.
Stop! You're stressing me out.
I'm stressing you out.
It's a great.
Oh my gosh.
It's a great.
Mommy,
it's grapefruit. Guys, look. Mommy has grapefruit.
It's like a grape agate, right?
What?
I would encourage you. So I think that we're going to have coffee chats every single week now for an extended period of time. I don't have any big trips or anything planned. Although I will say I was supposed to go to an event in April and I'm not going to be able to go, or I have decided not to go. So I'm thinking of booking another writing retreat. So I will keep you guys updated for that because Rough Draft Challenge is perfect time to do a writing retreat. So I think I'm just going to stay here in Dallas at some point during this month to keep writing. But my hope is, and of course, don't hold me to this, but my hope is that we will start reading A Mirror of Shadows the first week of May. And once those readings begin, they will happen every Tuesday and Thursday at this same time. So Tuesdays and Thursday at 4, you'll be able to watch the replay. It's available to everybody. And then I'm hoping you guys are going to love this story. You'll be able to watch it live if you want to spend 3 days a week with me.
Mommy,
and then there'll be lots of, oh, that's another gift.
No, this is mine.
No, yours is smaller.
No, mine is this one.
Maria made us matching Hello Kitties. They're so cute. They're so cute. I got so many gifts. I love you guys. But yeah, Jennifer, what's your YouTube channel? Tell us so we can go watch your stuff. What's that saying? Oh, okay. It's 4:00. I've just been rambling for an hour, but thank you for being here listening. If you want to come join me 3 hours a week, we will be starting readings probably the 1st of May, and those will continue for literally the rest of the year. And I am so excited about it. It's going to be a fun time. And I can't wait to share the story with you. I can't wait to finish it and get moving on it. So it's going to be great. But thank you for giving me you guys are part of my joy each week. I look forward to these chats. I look forward to hanging out. I love that we have such an amazing community. And whether you're here live or you're watching on the replay, I hope you know how much I love you and how excited I am for the future. Let's start looking at adventure and how we can fill our own well so that we can radiate that out to the rest of the world. She wants to show you something before we go. Is this a cup of tea? One of the things, one One of the things I had made for the tables were these little book rosettes, and they did have a little pearl in there, but it just fell out. But that's okay. All right, that's it, everybody. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing weekend. It's a little bit rainy here, but we're going to have some fun as a family over here on this side of it. But as always, thanks for attending the weekly coffee chat. I will see you guys next week. And if you are interested in joining the Rough Draft Challenge, then video will go live shortly telling you how to do it. Oh, this one with the pearl. So pretty. So pretty. You can have one if you want.
Honey, I wish it could like light up inside.
You wish it could light up?
Yeah, like I wish it could like light up brown inside.
That would be pretty.
Pictures.
We'll talk about it in a minute, okay? All right. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.